Greetings, everybody, and welcome to this week's program of Breaking the Loop. Greetings, respect and manners. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Greetings to this week's program. Manners and respect. Alright, so let me take a little time just to, share the little program. Our kind of vibes. Manners and respect to everybody. So this week, on Breaking the Loop, we're presenting Voice of a Woman. That's what we're calling it this week. Where we invite the females to come in, the queens to come in, and get their opinion on certain topics. Because oftentimes, we doesn't get the opportunity to get the females a voice and a chance for the voice to be heard. So that is kind of the energy I wanted to manifest tonight, to allow the Empress and them to get opportunity for the voice to be heard sideways. Alright, so we outside, we here, only take a little time as I say to share up the little live. There we go. My guys and them not reaching inside already, so the thing alright. So we go all our little vibes tonight, we go reason. I invite all you to join me in the comment section. Ask a few questions, drop a few comments, anything all you like to discuss sideways. Topics that we could touch on sideways, but we have a few things lined up same. So as I said, to take this time just to share up the little live, right out there, doing some work as well. And I say welcome to my guests and them on the inside, Candice, Karut, and Miriam Haji, as well as Gongsman. Alright, blessed love to them. We'll be joining the program shortly. So as I said, just take this little time to share up the little program, and you get going in a few. Tonight, once again, this is the topic we're dealing with. Voices of a Woman. So, Greetings and manners, welcome to the program. Yes, she is. I think she's actually on the program tonight. Keon Byron, bring up yourself, manners and respect. Welcome to the program, same way. So as I say, take this time just to share up the thing. This is kind of basically what we're dealing with tonight. Masculine energy, feminine energy, finding that balance in between, looking at more solutions rather than the problems. We're looking at more solutions tonight. We're trying to discuss, things that can help us to go forward in terms of finding a balance when it comes towards you and your king or you and your queen, sideways. Just dealing with the feminine energy on the whole. Because as I say, sometimes as men, we just quick to take lead and assume dominance. But, as you'd seen the ad, it said, our old African proverb is, the man might be the head, but the woman is the neck. And sometimes as males, we tend to be kind of stiff-necked. We tend to kind of not take the guide on sometimes. So, we want to hear from the queens tonight. We want to hear their perspective, where their mind's at. And, yeah, I think I'm ready to go this show kind of thing. I find like I'm ready to bring in my guests in this scene. So, I'll be leading forward. I'll take all the time, share the little thing same way. Gongsman will be here shortly. Alright, Candace, blessed good night.
Blessed
Welcome
love
to
to
the
all the
program.
kings and queens and the live. Blessed love.
Miriam,
Blessed
good
love.
night. Blessed
Blessed
love.
night.
Blessed love. Welcome to the program. Greetings, everybody. This is Candace. And this is Miriam. We'll have Gongsman should join us shortly. Alright, and as we say, tonight we're discussing, more, I want to say, gender-based violence rather than just domestic violence or violence at one particular sex. We want to touch on the topics because we know how this go, so we want to deal with it in that kind of sense. So, tonight program is the voices of the Queens. So Queens, big up all yourself. Give thanks for being here. Blessed love, energy.
Blessings.
Blessed love and give thanks for having us,
Manners, man. So it go. We have to be able to, reason with one another and
indeed.
And hold our vibes. And I kind of the as I said, the mood we're trying to set tonight is not one of a better sex than the other, or but just trying to find our balance and trying to find the solutions and trying to see where is the cause and all too. As some of the domestic violence that we seen in the homes and in the communities and so forth. So definitely one of the things I wanted us to talk about is the different types of abuse. All right. So Miriam, I'll pose this question to you. You could give us a brief synopsis on the different types of abuse there is, and just a little quick breakdown on what each one would be as you see it.
Well, the different types of abuse would be, of course, we all know physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial, abuse on the whole is such a broad thing, but it all comes down to mental health. And a lot of people tend to run from the topic mental health. They think it's mad people, but your mental health is very important, because if you have a car, a perfectly fine car, brand new car, and it have no gas, it can't go nowhere. So it's the same thing as a human being. A human being need everything to function. But if your mental health is not in order, then it could cause you to dysfunction as a person. If you're stressed out, and a lot in society now, a lot of the problems that we have in society now when it comes to families and relationships, they are stress related. You understand? They are stress related. So mental health is very, very, very important. It doesn't matter what type of abuse it is. The financial is where one individual dominates the other, regardless of how. There are different examples that I could draw, like, for example, plenty women ain't gonna like me for it, but it's the facts. A lot of women abuse men financially. You dig? And that is, it's a very subtle type of abuse. Even when it comes to children, when you look at maintenance and stuff like that, that is a form of financial abuse, when you talk about maintenance, because there are a lot of men who would be paying maintenance and they don't get to see their children. And sometimes, I might be criticized for it, but there's also facts. A lot of times, sometimes the law tends to rule more for the queens. You understand? The law tends to rule more for the queens. However, in the social development sector, I think that a lot needs to be done when it comes to families that have maintenance and these kind of problems. More needs to be done when it comes to investigating. Don't just believe one side of the story. That is what the social development part of the system is for. That is what it is put in place for. It have the others, like the spiritual and the psychological, but the main ones, definitely the main ones are the toxic type of relationship. And we all know that toxic is the new go now.
Well, actually, that's the whole reason I did this program tonight, because, not to cut you across, but I found that I've been seeing a lot of people thinking toxic is cute now. You know what I mean? Mash up your boyfriend, can cuss out his mother and bacchanal and keep your child from him. That toxic kind of living and that toxic loving becoming more appealing to people. I guess it's becoming more publicized in the media. I don't know, but that's hence kind of the reason why I did the show.
Even in the music industry, but let's just go, those are just the surface, but let's go a little deeper. When we talk about toxic, people laugh it off and think, it's a he. It's something serious, because when you have children that are born into a toxic relationship, they themselves pick up the toxic traits. And then
Treats.
when we have schools with children who are, as they label them, disruptive or aggressive or uncontrollable. You understand? We have
Mm-hmm.
been like that, you know. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times, children don't really be themselves to the parents or to the family. They will be themselves with their peers or when they are away from the home. You understand? So toxic traits and mentalities is definitely a very big root cause of a lot of intimate partner violence and gender-based violence.
All right, definitely, definitely. And you know, coming to you, Candice, what you think would be like a solution for like something like that? Well, you know, it don't have to be the fix or the go-to fix, but you know, what would be your perspective on something that could probably, you know, lighten it or make it, you know, less effective in terms.
You see, first to begin, I will start with, you know, um, you see reasoning, you see communication,
Yeah, yeah,
we
Definitely.
intend
definitely.
to get far away from communicating with each other, you understand? And that is one of the key rules now pertaining to, you know, these former abuse and these things because as you say, I want to stick a pin, as Miriam say, society have it like we the queens are always, we always right. You
Yeah,
understand? But society
yeah,
always also have it as the kings mustn't have emotions. The kings mustn't
Facts.
have feelings. The kings
Mm-hmm.
must put on that big boy jaws. The kings must
yeah.
have, the kings must be like a robot then, not having feelings. But I want to say something that we are to understand that we are all human beings. And, until we as individuals, as kings and queens,
Mm-hmm.
understand that and understand the power in which we have, you understand, then things will change because we could create anything. You understand? So I
Good.
want to say, you see, a form of communication, I think that the thing that messing up the place right now because of technology. That is one of the thing too. Because check it out, we living in homes where phones and technology is everything, right?
Yeah,
Device,
yeah,
and a man and a woman will be living together, and one will be on the phone, the other will be on the phone, so there's no communication.
Christian, yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
understand? So I think people need to get up and smell the coffee and have a level of self-control now, boy. And don't let the thing control you.
Understand
You
how
had a
to
level of
separate yourself from it.
yeah, had a
Yeah,
time
I,
frame.
I agree with you.
You have a time to, interact on your phone. You have a time, family time. You have a time for your children because even mothers, right? Even mothers, like we say, a mother of five or however the case, a mother of two, however the case may be.
Yeah,
From my perspective, you see in mothers handing devices to children for children to leave them alone for the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. True,
You
true,
understand? And
true.
you don't know what your
Your
children is,
children.
you
You don't know
understand?
what in the
So
mind. Yeah, you're
you
quite right.
you don't know. So I just always say 5 minutes of 5 minutes of a parent time come like 5 days. You understand? To a child. You
Mm-hmm,
understand?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
people had to wake up and smell the coffee, King. You understand? People had to wake up and smell the coffee. You understand? And that
But
is something that
go ahead.
messing us up as our people too. You understand? That
Mm-hmm.
lack of communication. Everything is a social media. Everything is a
We get
glitz
carried
and
away. We
glamour.
get carried
We
away
get
with,
carried
with what's
away.
Yeah,
We
happening.
yeah,
need to
yeah,
focus. We need to focus because the fire blazing. No, no, King. The fire
yeah, yeah.
blazing, and we need
Definitely.
to focus, especially in this time. We need to rest down certain things. We need to have a level of control where we could say, hey, here what I'm putting down this phone today. I don't want no calls, no messages, nothing. And interact
Yeah,
with
yeah,
family. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah, definitely, definitely. That
Yeah.
makes sense. And going back to a point where you say just now, would you all agree that it's the way we raising our sons and our daughters gender based? Now, understand it, because I grew up and in that time and I raised my son the same way. Where boys have to be boys, right? Yes, we ain't saying
Right.
no that a boy have to have a certain bit of masculinity about him. But the way that we kind of train children in the sense that, you know, boys don't cry, don't fall down. If you fall down, get from there, you know, get from there, and big boys don't cry and thing. And then if your daughter fall
think
down now, if your
you pet
daughter
your
fall
daughter,
down now,
but you
Yeah,
teach
go
we
teach
teaching
it
you teaching the young men that here what
to be
you
emotionless.
because you are the stronger sex naturally, that you're not supposed to show any emotions, when in
True, true.
reality emotions is natural for human
It's a human
function.
trait. It's a human trait,
So
whether male or
so
female. It's a
naturally
human trait.
so
Yeah.
naturally that is a recipe for disaster, and that is a root cause for an abusive man or a
True,
perpetrator.
true.
It doesn't matter what type of violence, but what happens to young men when they are groomed like that is they grow up suppressing emotion, and somehow the reality is it builds. And when it's time for it to come out, because they are the stronger sex naturally, it's going to come out aggressive.
Aggressively and much more stronger.
And then
Yeah.
another problem we have with that, with our same issue, is this. Sometimes we say as women, you know what? Men don't want to confide in us. They don't want to open up. They don't want to talk. They don't want to express themselves, right? But yet when they do, we ridicule them. We insult them. We use what they tell us against them.
Right.
And then we create more damage, whether it's for our relationship with them or for when they move on. Because if if a man grows up like that and he tries to confide in a woman and she does that, she creates more damage emotionally, mentally. You understand?
And
Psychologically,
even for
it
the
does
next,
damage.
yeah, and even for the next person that he might be with in the future, you know,
Yes,
and that will
definitely.
lead me into
You
kind of
see,
into this part. If
yeah,
domestic
it,
violence is only directed towards women, or do men suffer domestic violence too?
Of course, men suffer domestic violence, and you know this is right up my alley. This is up my alley, and I mean, I laugh because it's not something that everybody does want to talk about. Sometimes when you're with women, I mean, I will get criticized for it, but it's reality. Sometimes when you talk about it with women, they laugh and they make fun
Yeah.
of it, like it's a joke, but it's not. Because yeah, what if you have a man grow up in a home that he was taught it is not right to hit a woman. He was brought up that way. Then there are
Mm-hmm.
women who are going to provoke him. They will drive him to the edge, knowing that here what, no matter what I do, he's not going to hit me. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Mm-hmm. There are
form of
women like
abuse.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
form of abuse. But there are women who naturally physically abuse men too, because they
mm,
know the men are
Mm-hmm.
not going to hit them. They know that men not going to hit them. But you know, to be honest, one of the root problems is that as a people, we really don't have a God consciousness as we ought to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if we really had that God consciousness, there are a lot of things that we do we wouldn't do, because regardless to how frustrating a situation might be or whatever, if you had a God consciousness, it might come to your mind. But somewhere in your subconscious, you're going to tell yourself, nah, boy, me ain't going down that road now. I fear the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? So
true,
spirituality
true,
have a
And
lot to do with it too.
true, true. Because
and it,
I wanna, yeah,
right.
I
Go
wanna
ahead.
come in here, right? Um,
Yeah, definitely.
as women too, right? We have certain roles and function in this thing. You understand? And I think right now, how society have it, we not being our kings, we not prepping our kings to the highest potential. Instead of
Indeed.
instead of we prepping them, we pulling them down. So we
Okay.
need to know we roles and we function too. You understand me? Because that is something important too. You understand? So we need to
Speaking
know that as
goodness into your
women.
king life or speaking goodness into your
Yeah,
queen life.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
certain
and
things
she's
because
quite
men,
right.
yeah, we need to prop them. We need to prop them. You understand? And I think
You
that
know,
is one of the things.
there's a
Yeah,
saying in addition to what she's saying is that words sound and power. Words have power. So
yeah,
I'm just saying, I just taking an example. You have a husband, you have a family. Your husband come from work, and sometimes we want men to treat us like queens, but we must
true,
ask ourselves as women, do we treat them like kings?
true,
We want to be heard. We want to be
Mhm.
spoiled. We
Mhm.
want to all
definitely,
of this. What about
definitely,
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
definitely.
Yeah.
saying? Sometimes we want to be heard, but when it's his turn to speak, he can't speak.
He silence. Yeah. Silence him. Or you're not. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
have the time.
or he's speaking, but you are listening.
Mhm.
Yeah, words have
So
power. Words have power. I must say, words have power. You understand?
Even
So
with
I
our
actually,
children, what we tell our children as well as we say in words have power, how we speak to our children. Sometimes we tell our children, you're stupid, you're just like your father, you're just like your mother,
true,
you're dotish, you can't, you understand,
true,
you don't see, that kind of vibes.
true, true.
And
yeah.
that is
Yeah.
reality. And
Yeah.
those things listen, people need to come out of the box and stop thinking that,
Hmm.
yeah, what now? Everything is, I not going up my child to be no bubbly and this and that and thing, but again, it's all about your mental health. If your mind is in the right place, you can't guide somebody. You can't practice the right things because your perspective's wrong. If your perspectives and them
Mhm.
not in alignment, you dig where I'm coming from? Then you can't guide in the right way. And I am not saying this off of something that I read. I'm telling you this from experience that I would have experienced with my own children. Because I have a son who's 20. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
trust me, it
Yeah.
wasn't a Bella Roses understanding the things that I speak about, but I speak about it from real life experience. Yes, we know the scriptures are there and we understand that, but we have to come out of the box and stop allowing people to tell us what to do, how to do it. You understand? How to think, how we should think, and how we should do things. We need to start
Def-
being properly independent and making choices for
definitely.
ourselves. For
We
ourselves.
have a.
Stop allowing people into our relationships as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I was just noting that we have a comment here that stood out a minute that said mental manipulation leads to emotional abuse. You
Facts.
understand? And playing with somebody's mind could
Hmm.
definitely lead to them being or you being abused or emotionally abused because rightfully as we say, even though a man is trained not to show his feelings doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't have, right?
Exactly.
And the with the training he have, you find that feelings will be bottled up inside. All right. Like I once explained to somebody that this is my perspective though, that it takes
Hmm.
much more for a man to love a woman than for a woman to love a man. Right? Because to me,
Yeah.
I think women are designed to love. They are taught to love. They are taught to
True, true,
become
true.
wives and mothers and girlfriends and thing, right? Men, on the other hand, is not really taught to love, but they taught to lead and taught to go out there and gather and these kind of vibes. So when
But
a
King, you know
man
where's the problem?
Okay.
Let me tell you where's the
just
problem. The
now,
problem
just now,
is
let me finish.
woman
Just now,
want to
let me
lead. They
finish.
don't want to.
I want to come in on this.
Just now,
I
let me
just I
finish
just had
because
to say it.
I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying. Let me finish. Right?
Yeah, go
What I'm
ahead.
saying is that because are the way they set up the training towards the kings and the queens in
Mm-hmm.
different aspects. Just like I was saying before, you will tell your boy child, if you fall, get a big boy so cry, and if your daughter fall, you want to mash the ground, you want to beat the
Mm-hmm.
ants, you want to pick up the stone when Bruce she and pelt it with. It's all kind of bacchanal, right? Because you're
Yeah.
nurturing them differently when it comes to emotion, right? So when a
Yes.
man now fall in love with a woman, actually love, we ain't talking about infatuation or just lust and these things. We're talking about love. A man love a woman, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
something he wasn't trained to do or nurtured to do. But he find love, he find companionship in that person. And for some reason, that person betrays trust or his companionship. Sometimes that's why men just can handle it mentally because they
True,
was
true.
never trained to be loving or to accept love and to give love as easily as how a female. That's just my perspective. I don't know, I
True,
could be wrong.
true.
Well, you're
I'm
quite
gonna
right,
jump
you know,
in there
You're
because
now.
right. You're
that's
right.
that's why the both of them different. That
Hmm.
is why God make a man and he make a woman. He make the
Hmm.
man
Sense.
and he make the man in his form. He make the man the head.
Yeah, but you see,
It come back down to the
emotion,
Godhead, but I don't
as
want to go
as
there.
I go back to it again. But emotions is more a human thing rather than a gender thing. Because
True,
both
true, true.
masculine and feminine could feel love,
And
and both masculine and feminine
exactly.
could feel anger. And so, we share
Pain
these
and
traits. Yeah, we
yes.
share these traits regardless. So emotion is not really gender based. It's more,
No, it's not.
No. Human.
emotion is a human based something, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of way. Yeah.
It's in our
Mm-hmm.
nature to be,
Yeah.
emotional. One thing I want to say is that in this time that we're in right now, you will see men being much more emotional than women because of the woman empowerment. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Women being empowered, women being independent. So men feel, more emotional. They intend to the thing like it flip, the script flip, you could say. The flip script. Woman acting like the men and the men, sorry to say, acting like the woman.
Maybe it's
The
because the
man
man
Right?
yielding.
is so absent.
The
Maybe it's
man
because a lot of the
yielding.
fathers absent.
Yes.
You understand?
And
And
why
that
they
is something,
absent?
yeah.
So that's our root cause that we reach here, right? That's our root cause. Why
The
we
men
have
yielding, you
this
see.
type of imbalance? Why the men yield? Why I'm saying the men doesn't yield sometimes is sometimes my very good friend Aishiba Karanzai, my best friend. She's a mental health officer. She's
Yeah.
currently pursuing a PhD, right? She works in St. Croix at this point in time. And she once told me, she said, Mary, sometimes we have expectations from people and they don't live up to it. Not that they don't want to, but sometimes because they simply don't know better. So sometimes a woman might be dealing a man wrong. She might give him the wrong energy or give him an unfair energy. But because he simply don't know how to deal with the situation, he want to try. So he willing. So he would yield. But the fact of the matter is, because it's unfair, no matter how much he try to yield at some point in time, it's not going to work. And what we need to normalize is normalize relationships or things not working out. That it's okay. Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
It's okay sometimes
Yeah,
that
yeah.
relationships don't work. You understand? Stop trying to make people feel, well, here we're going on. I'm in this relationship 5 years now. I had 3 children. If I walk out now, I go in and look. You understand how I go in and look what my children go in and think? No, you have to be true to yourself. If you don't love yourself, and it comes back to your mental health,
True.
your well-being as a human being. Because if you can't love yourself enough to be honest and say, what's going on? This is not working for me, and I'm not happy. I'm not comfortable. If I have a partner
Yeah.
and I can sit down and reason with my partner as a man and say, what's going on? I'm not comfortable with this and I'm not happy with this. You understand? This X, Y, and Z making me uncomfortable. It's making me unhappy. I cannot handle this. You understand? If you're in a relationship and you as an individual do not have the self-love, you don't love yourself enough to be open and can't be open with your partner. It don't make no sense. You can't say you love
True.
somebody.
True.
How you can love
True.
somebody if you don't
Yeah.
love yourself?
True.
Yeah.
So
True.
self-love is
Definitely.
important. And sometimes, a lot of times we go into relationships looking. We go in looking for something. We looking for that
Depending on
love and that
somebody to
comfort.
love us.
We
Yeah.
dependent. You understand? And
Yeah.
we give a
Yeah.
person, we give an individual a lot more work than they deserve. You understand? Because really and truly, as individuals, I had to find my peace and my happiness, right?
True.
And you have to find you responsible for your happiness and I responsible for mine. But when we get together, we share whatever it is
It's
we
supposed to
have.
be
That is how
a
it's supposed to be.
complement in one another. It's supposed to be a
It's a
complement in
balance.
your happiness and you
That what the
complement in
balance
mine.
is about.
Yeah, definitely.
That is what the
Definitely.
balance is about. You dig? That is what the balance is about. if it is you're in a relationship and you're walking on eggshells, you can't talk to your significant other, you can't talk to your husband, you can't talk to your wife because the minute you mention something is because it don't make no sense. And then you
True.
know
True.
what? We forget that the children are looking at how we deal with
Looking,
situations. So
looking.
when we as
Mm-hmm.
adults are
Mm-hmm.
tit for tat and we biting at each other and we fighting and carrying on and carrying on that way, the children in the background looking at everything. And that's how they
And
practice to
learning.
deal with solutions. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
So what
learning
we
because
have, all
remember
we
we are
have
their
in
first
society,
teachers.
right? So all we have is right now is just cycles repeating itself. You understand? We as
True.
individuals we really need to take time to reflect on ourselves,
Yeah.
and take responsibility sometimes for some of our choices.
You see,
Yeah. Some
nobody
of the
wanna
But
take
choices they
the
making.
time. Yeah, nobody don't wanna take the time, the to invest the time in transformation. You know,
exactly.
for that long-term investment. We were short-term investment now. Nobody don't want to
Like my
take
A
the
quick
time
like
fix.
my
and
how I is, like my how I is, or don't like my at all. You know, they want to.
yeah,
Nobody don't want to invest into changing themselves
true,
because, quite honestly, when you get into a relationship, remember it's two different energies, two different personalities, two
true,
different human beings coming at you. You know
Facts.
what I mean? And we had to learn each other, and sometimes learning each other meaning that I mightn't like something and you might have to let go of it even though you like it because you were going you like me and more than you like it. You understand? And likewise the same way as a king. Sometimes it might have certain things a queen mightn't like and you got to let go of it because you understand that it creating a
But
conflict.
Lion, before you even go to letting go of it, right? You have to
Yeah,
understand that here what's going on. We're two different individuals. Not everything
true,
you
yeah,
like, I gonna like. Not everything I
yeah.
like, you gonna like. But it's having a balance of respect. Respecting that
true.
here what?
Mm-hmm.
I may not like that. What if that's what he like? Then he should have the freedom to like whatever he like. And I
For
shouldn't watch
real.
no face
Definitely,
for that.
definitely, definitely,
You
definitely.
understand? But definitely we have a controlling type of mentality. The perspective of if
Yeah,
you're
they
in a
live in my
relationship,
world.
if you're in a relationship and you have a husband or a man, that man belong to you and that woman belong to you. That kind of controlling mentality, we need to change that. Because a
True.
lot of times
Same,
people one of the
same.
problems with relationships is that people cannot go about their everyday life like the way they used to when they was not in a relationship because now if they speak to the opposite sex it's a problem. Now
Right.
it have instances where some people just take that and use it to their advantage, but we's big people and we know what we talking about. You understand? It have men who does be working. The job entitles that they deal with the opposite sex. They can't vex with a man for that. If they see you talking to somebody, it's a bacchanal and it's a rain, it's an embarrassment. And then the next day, all you're good. You understand? All of that is toxic behavior. Very subtle.
Yeah, all that boil back right back down to
You,
the toxicity, toxic
you
kind
see,
of
you
vibes and
see,
you know?
yeah, you see, we want to control the person or the we partner, but growing up, right? And seeing
Hmm.
your grandparents live together. 'Cause I grew up with my grandparents, around my grandparents, right? And my grandmom never used to work. In them timing is grandpa working, bringing in the money. Grandma used to
Yeah.
take care of the house, take care of the children, cook, wash, clean. You understand? So you see, we had to change that mindset from that time, that controlling mindset, because as you see, it is generational curses. You understand these things? We had to change that now, boy. We had to change that level of thinking. You understand? Because in them time in men going out and work and women have to stay home and take care of the household. Have to.
Mm-hmm.
I not
Mm-hmm.
talking about now,
Mm-hmm.
King. I talking about back then. You understand? Back then, women never used to work. Check it out. Women make sure the home, they make sure the house good, the children good, the cook, the wash, the clean, they make sure everything good. You understand? So now the shift in effect now that men don't know how to deal with the shift. You understand? And that is one of the things we need to focus on too. Because a long time you were guys stayed at home mom, but now women working and earning their own money. So
All
I
right.
think
And
that
because they're doing so in agreement to what Candace is saying, right? Because women have that level of independence, right? Or that independent mentality or perspective, it gives them now a sort of controlling type of mindset where here we're going on. You can't tell me nothing because I working and I get my own money. You understand? If I want, if you understand what I'm saying, sometimes
yeah,
you might know that your significant other would be displeased about something or something really not appropriate, but because you have that level of independence, you could use it to your advantage and say, well, he can't tell me not to go away because it's not his money. And you know that kind of vibes. And these little things, they contribute. You know, the old people, let's say, jib by jib does fully pot. All these little
Mhm.
subtle things is things that we have to be mindful of. So we really, as a people, we really need to change we mindset. And generational curses, people look at it
definitely.
like, you know what? Yeah, what? People look at it like, you need some kind of holy oil and some holy water and some kind of bush or some kind of broom to beat it out of you. No, it's your mentality, your mindset, your perspective. Sometimes you have to take time as an individual. Just how you does empty your garbage bin, just how you does clear your phone, your computer, just how you does get rid of trash. It's the same way as a human being. You have to take
And I
time
guess,
to evaluate yourself
yeah,
and get rid of the waste.
definitely.
Definitely.
And check yourself and say,
Definitely.
you know what? Nah, that not the kind of energy I want to be projecting. You understand? That not the kind of mindset I want. That not the kind of
Yeah, but
vibes I looking for.
sometimes you just
Mm-hmm.
can't make somebody right see
Mm-hmm.
faults in the ways if they don't see no error
True.
in them.
True.
And like
Some people,
scriptures.
some people don't see the faults, don't see the error in themselves, and you might try to sit down and reason with them, and they wouldn't grasp it because to them they're not doing anything wrong. And and
Right.
and you know, and the beginning
And
and
a,
are
a
wrong, right?
solution can't be established because if you're trying to show somebody that they're wrong and in their mind they're not doing anything wrong, you can't reach nowhere.
That is what I'm saying, and you know, and that is where you go wrong from right there because you know, in a relationship, you have to always try to maintain the ability to see the relationship through your partner eyes. Then
Yeah.
True.
understand well, you know. All right, all right. You might get vexed, I mean, you know, because we understand in this human nature we're dealing with something might, or it might be presented to you the way you like it, and you might get vexed at that point
Mm-hmm.
in time. But when you sit down within your meditation, you go say, well, all right, you know what? So and so say was right, you know, and if you really check it out, as my king or as my queen are really supposed to, they deserve that respect.
Yeah.
True.
You know
And
what?
you
I
know,
didn't deal with that the
but
right way.
yeah, you know, but that aggressive, that kind of, as they say, that kind of feminine, kind of think like a man, act like a woman, think like a man mentality.
Yeah.
It they actually get it wrong. They didn't understand what Steve Harvey and them was really trying to say. They didn't really get the concept. You know, it wasn't
Exactly.
to
It's
be
really
tough
about
and rugged and
compassion.
Hmm.
To be
come on.
compassionate and put yourself in somebody
In a
else's
man
shoes.
shoe. Yeah, or in a
Put
woman
No,
yourself.
shoe.
you see,
Yeah.
Look.
we living in our time where both males and females, right, have the ability, the knowledge, and the understanding to hold similar positions in life, right?
Right.
Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter where your financial position is, you have a
Mm-hmm.
position in a relationship. So it come like a relationship position. You,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm trying to show you? The
Yeah.
boss
Mm-hmm.
can't be
Mm-hmm.
the secretary and the secretary can't be the boss.
True.
Understand it. It's in a relationship, you have to know that even though you might be making more, you might be making as much, you have to still have that level of respect for your relationship. I don't know. This is a, you
Exactly.
know, from my perspective, still, you know.
Not just for your relationship, but for yourself. You understand?
We have a
You have to
we have
have
a
respect.
question here.
Go ahead.
We have a question here from Gregory Critical St. John. The question is, why women want a relationship with All right, but don't
Okay, I
listen.
understand the
I think
question. So
I
here
think
what
you're
he's
trying to
saying. He's
say why
saying
would woman want a relationship with a man, but don't want to listen or respect the standard
the
that
standard that
man
man
need
needing.
in his woman.
So one one very simple answer to that question is a lot of women don't understand the respect and the standard yet. They don't understand it yet. They don't understand the balance. They
Hmm.
don't understand the role in depth. They might understand it in the surface, you dig? But they really don't understand it in depth. And because they don't understand it, because they're not aware, some
Mm-hmm.
some of them some of them have an idea, some of them know what it is, but they're comfortable with the way that they are. And that is a mindset in society. You understand? It have people who really want to develop themselves, who want to do better, who want to, you know, who want to make themselves better, who want to change. But it have some people they don't know and they stick like that.
Hmm.
And no matter how you try to show them, so
So like
the most go ahead,
I have an
go ahead.
I have a next topic I'd like to spin past Ole here, right? Like in this COVID time that we living in, as much as we trying to stay away from the actual topic of COVID, but you can't not have a show and not bringing it up because this is what
Mm-hmm.
we living in. It's the current
Yeah,
times and it affecting everything, whether in a major way or in a minor way, it affecting everything, right? And I would like to,
yeah.
ask you all, or Candace, I'll direct this question at you actually. Is COVID contributing to domestic violence? The way people like lockdown in homes, because a lot of us now actually learning with partners. Because to be
Mm-hmm.
quite honest, we never had
True.
that quite amount of time in a personal space with, so plenty people now learning their partners for real.
That
Like
is
they're
fact.
now learning certain traits because just like how children
Even
is
the
go to school when
children.
the day come, yeah, even the children and all, they're now learning the children because before everybody had their own individual thing, now everybody think it's a collective thing, or that we home together.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, Candace, as I say, do you
Yeah.
believe COVID is
Yes.
contributing to that
COVID.
domestic violence
COVID
or
increasing.
gender-based violence?
Yes, COVID is increasing gender-based violence more and more, but we won't see it on the news, we won't see it on the media, we won't see these things. You understand? Because people privacy being invaded, limited. Let me start with that. The privacy being
Mm-hmm.
invaded, meaning everybody who at home,
Facts.
right?
Right.
People losing their jobs, people frustrated, people, mental issues, people not reaching out to each other, people, you see, in this time in particular with this pandemic, you know, people had to reach out to the brothers and the sisters, boy, king boy, because it's an easy. Don't study
Right.
yourself. You understand? Don't study yourself as an individual. Reach out to people, reach out, call our brethren, call our sister, find out how we going, find out how she going. You understand? And too often we wanna see for ourselves now, King. Too often we wanna see for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves and that wrong. You understand? And I think right now with this COVID, it will increase and it will continue increasing because nothing is being done. You understand?
Nothing is
Where
changing.
Yeah.
all right. For instance, gender-based violence. What are we to do as women or men? Call the police. That making anything better? That
Your
Yeah.
making
That
another
anything?
king going and get locked up,
that
That
might
either he
just
making
go
bring
to
an
anything?
jail or he get
That
it could just
changing
it could just
anything?
make the
That not
situation
changing.
worse.
You understand? So I think people had to communicate and especially in this time, reach out to your loved ones, reach out to your brethren, your sisters, boy. You understand? And find out where it's taking place and spend that time with your children, because let me tell you something, school closed, right, King? School
mm-hmm.
closed right now. And children is home right now. And suppose school was a child safety grounds from
Safe
someone
zone.
who is, you understand, for
Yeah.
someone who is interfering with them or someone, you understand. So what is the solution for this now, where this child is stuck in this environment with with that relative or whoever, you
That
understand,
predator.
you
That
understand,
predator.
in the same environment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
in addition to what Candace is saying, I just want to say two things. One, we need to start listening to our children, like not hearing them, but listening. Pay attention when they speak. Because sometimes predators don't just actually abuse children, they groom them. It could start with little things. You understand?
True.
Little things. You understand?
True.
Just the presence being inappropriate. So having that communication understanding with the children and teaching our children what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. You understand? But that is the next thing. If we're too busy in our relationships and having these kind of miscommunications and dysfunctions, we can't really look after the children the right way.
No,
That
the
is
child will
one.
afraid to come and talk, even talk to you as a parent
As
because
a
of your
father or as a
behavior,
mother
or
because of
you
how you will
understand?
behave, how
Yes.
you will react.
So these is things very important at this time, especially during the pandemic, King. You understand? And
Yeah.
these is the things every day this happening, whether we see it or not, but it's real. You understand? And
Yeah, but
these is things we have to find solutions for. You
that is what I'm now
understand?
going to ask you.
Definitely,
That was the
I would
next
say,
question. So I'm now going to ask you, what do you think, or what do you all think would be solutions in terms of, as you say, protecting the youth, right? Because that is only one, that is one part of it, you know. But also
we
at the
could,
same point in time, what about protecting the people in the relationship as well too? Because we're not just talking about the violence against the youth, but according to the point that you bring up just now, saying that sometimes going to school is a child's safe zone because they might have a predator at home or somebody at home who looking and preying on them, right? But what I'm saying is also within the relationship, feel like man and woman same way. Sometimes your relationship might be so toxic at home that you know that kind of way.
you
You
can't
want to
talk
say
to nobody.
who
You
it have
understand?
to reach out to. That's what I'm saying. Where does it have where's a solution? Who it you could call? You know, you might say, call your bedroom or your sister and reach out to somebody. But you don't know the thing let's go. People would argue with you and tell you, well, me ain't talking my business with nobody. If I going
Sure,
through my thing, I go deal with my thing. My must you understand? Because people
sure.
very
And
skeptical of other people
I would
to do this.
definitely
Yes.
say, I would definitely say
Hmm.
more programs like this where we could come out and talk and don't care about what people going to think or what they're going to say.
True,
You dig where I'm
true.
coming from?
Yeah,
Because if
I understand.
a person experienced something and they were able to move forward from it, if you don't share it, you're selfish. And why you're selfish is because if you could come out of a situation, right, for a minute, just for a minute, you put yourself, you think back when you was in that situation, how you felt. Because there are a lot of men and women in situations where they feel like that is the only option. Staying is the only option. Dealing with
Sure.
it is the only option. You understand? But when people are able to speak out and not be ridiculed in them kind of vibes, you understand? On social media, I'm not even going to say social media. I'm going to say we as a people need to be more mindful of how we react to things because sometimes a simple thing as um a household dispute between a couple can be very detrimental to the relationship.
All right, I think we lost Miriam there for a second. She'll pop back in. But as we were saying, Candice, right? You give Miriam a chance to come back in and sort out. All right? What you think would be a good solution in terms of protecting the said children and protecting people itself in a relationship? Because, we need people.
As Miriam said, we need more programs like this, definitely, because at the end of the day, what it is really taking place here is like everybody seeing for themselves, right? And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, a woman might be scared to reach out because if a man find out, he might abuse her. You understand? So we had to do
Definitely.
the thing proper in a proper manner, so that the abuser wouldn't, the abuser wouldn't find out, or these things, things like these now, some private something, because I telling you, it's sad. It's really sad. It's sad. You understand? We had to look for some kind of solution for this, because
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
it's
happened. I get cut
real.
off.
It's real king.
I've seen a comment here. Other than a person's ego, a lot of people don't trust this system. And I sure a lot of people don't trust this system because, as you rightfully say, you might make a report and before you reach home, you realize that you're being, you know what I mean? Your significant other don't know already because he might have been a police officer or army man, or he might know
Or a
somebody in the
friend, any
station.
force.
You
Yeah.
understand? And the same way goes for the
Yeah.
predator towards the children and thing. You know, the
True.
system faulty. But
If it's faulty,
I think a lot of the problems that we face in society, and this is my humble reasoning, a lot of the problems that we face in society, I think it stem from like upbringing. It all lies in the way you bring up a child or you was brought up as a child. Now, even though sometimes in life, and most times in life, not sometimes, because most times in life we might be brought up in a situation and we have the ability to change, but we have to want to change as well. Same way, right? And I just saying, like, we need to teach your children and them that it's not okay to do certain things, to be certain ways, and train the generation to come to be more emotion fluid. They like to use a term gender fluid. That is failure because gender can't be fluid. But emotions could be fluid because emotions is something shared by, as I say, all of us as human beings. It's not a masculine thing. It's not a feminine thing. We both feel love. We both feel hate. We both feel anger. You understand? So I think we need to teach youths and them to not only respect somebody else's emotions, but respect your own. You understand? Teach people to be more, as I say, emotion fluid. You know, be more kind to your son if that's what it take. At 20 years old, my son does still come and give me a hug up. At 20 years old, if I call my son now and say, come and give your father a hug up, he come and give me a hug up. No. You understand? Likewise, my daughter is 18 years, same thing. If I call she and I say, come and give your father a hug up, she coming still. Because, you teach them more, you teach them love, and you didn't teach them love in separation, that you go hug up your daughter and you won't hug up your son. Or, you understand what I'm saying here? So I think that is where it come down to.
The upbringing for sure is a point, because let me just say, long time you as a young lady, you understand, you couldn't leave your mother or your grandmother house in a particular manner. Now, mothers and the children and the girl children dressing the same, want to look the same.
Yeah.
So mothers is setting no example, they being sample. You understand? They setting no example, they want to be samples. So this is for upbringing for sure. Yes, that is 100% the upbringing of your children. Because I telling you, I seen mothers will see the children talking on Instagram and show a blind eye.
And join them, if our mothers joining them too, in the talk challenge too. If our mothers joining them in the talk challenge, same way too.
So we can't deal with the fruit, we have to deal with the root. You understand?
Right.
And there is the root upbringing the foundation. You understand?
Teaching children, as I say, teaching children how to respect each other, doesn't matter what, with in turn create big man and woman who know to treat each other. Right? Because like oftentimes the old people will say there was somebody to treat your son like a king, they never teach him how to be a king. There was somebody to treat your daughter like a queen, they never teach you how to be a queen. So then, you
Sure.
know what I mean? You sending out somebody to buy a 6 for 9 man. Because
Sure.
you presenting a princess, you presenting a queen, but you never really teach no values of queen. Of a queen,
Sure.
same way. I see somebody saying in the comment here, that's the reason I say you can love anybody because it's a but loyalty now is different. Someone who loyal to you won't do things to hurt you. And I would agree with that to a certain point.
Sure.
Because loyalty to me much more important than love. I'm being quite honest. Loyalty to me much
Definitely.
more important than love. Because a person who love you could love you today and hate you tomorrow.
For real.
Right? A person who love you a person could be head over heels in love with you today and tomorrow they could hate you. But a person who loyal to you would be loyal to you until the end of that time. If you understand what I'm saying. And with loyalty
Sure.
would come understanding. So I kind of get where Marvin getting at it. You know? In terms of some of the red flags and toxic traits and things, what do you think is some of the red flags we should look out for in relationships? And, you know, both as masculine and feminine, you know, what is things we should look out for in terms of toxic vibes in our relationship and things?
You know, King, you see, you use the term red flags, right? But you see, right now in this time, and with women and men, it's how women seeing red flags and saying, he was just vexed at the moment, as I will give my blind. Tomorrow he do twice tomorrow. He do something bigger than that. He does vexes, or sometimes the man even have money, King. So
Yeah.
the throw away the red flag. The throw away the red
Because
flag.
right, because
You understand?
the blue flag running supreme. You understand?
You
The
understand?
blue flag flying high.
You
You dig?
understand? So the throw away the red flag, and this is what's going on right now. The truth, women don't know the value. Women lost in the value, the lost in it. We need to take back the crown. You understand? As strong queens, you know, with our strength and dignity. You understand? And we need to stop not everything. You see how society have it is like once you have money, you have everything. You understand? But once you have God, you have everything. You understand? And that whole society have it. A man with money, you settle for less because you have money. If he dead today or tomorrow, I have all the things. You understand? And this is the things where women need to change about themselves. You understand? Some women might be vexed with me for saying this, but these is things, you understand? These are some of the
Yeah.
things. So red
Yeah.
flags don't matter to some of we women, King. Red flags don't matter.
Yeah,
You
understand what you're saying. I
understand?
understand what you're saying. It's not like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
not like even that woman checking for that anymore. You know,
Woman are
like long
checking
time
for that.
on.
Once you have the
Yeah.
blue flag, once you are the blue
Yeah.
flag
What
king,
burn the red flag? Yeah, burn the red flag.
fire
Once you are the
upon
blue
the red
flag.
flag. You understand? And that is it because
Understand.
yeah. And by the
Yeah,
vibes
yeah.
right there, that is it. Because that is what we seeing. That is what we see, no. That is what we seeing every
Yeah.
day. You understand?
Yeah.
We
Because
seeing
everybody want to be on top, everybody want to be shining, everybody
yeah,
want to
but
so
King,
they
you
don't
know I
care
had
what
to
it
say
takes to shine.
yeah, you know, I had to say to the women too, we didn't come here to be like nobody. We come here to stand out, you know. We didn't come here to fit in, you know. You understand? We didn't come here to fit in and follow nobody. You know, follow fashion. Understand your value. Understand morals. You understand? Understand these things. And until women respect themselves and value themselves, King, these things will remain the same. Women had to make that start with that boy because I tell you, it's some women they don't want a man watch them, but they're going out dressed inappropriate.
You think so? You think they don't want a man watch them? Let me be real. Let
Hey,
me
it
just
has some women. No, listen, I think it has some
the
women
vex.
they will
The
wear
vex the
tights.
real.
Wait now, they will wear
Right.
tights. They know it buff. Let me say,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if a man tell you, God girl, yeah, real thing it from there, you know she vex?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she ready to go home for she man
It's
and
not
bring
like
him back.
it's not like she don't want man watch you, know. She don't want man disrespect you. Then respect yourself as a
True.
woman.
I respect that statement. You see where you now say there? I respect that. Respect yourself first. And a man wouldn't even get the opportunity to disrespect you.
True.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Um,
Because
because
that means he will see yourself. He will see you as carrying yourself highly. When that man see you dress appropriate, you understand? You don't even have a very visible crown. He know that is a
yeah,
queen walking
yeah,
there.
yeah,
He
yeah.
know by how you
By the way
nobody
you carry yourself.
like you understand.
Mm-hmm,
And until women change that way of thinking and that follow fashion thing, that we take back with crowns as queens. You understand? That we take back with crowns. You understand?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You ever come in here saying some don't value themselves because they call each other B words and H words when they should address each other as queens and
Yeah.
queens as we are, right? As the queens we are. And
Definitely.
I think she
Yeah.
talking more like females, because females would call their girlfriend,
Yeah.
the B word
For
and
real.
the H word and greetings,
That
Miriam. That kind
Greetings,
of
of
vibe.
course.
and
The
and
internet
and and,
against my boy.
and that
It's
is our
nothing to
norms.
worry and notice.
And kick that is our norms for we as women. When we girlfriend call we the B word or the H word, that is our norms. That cool, you understand? We need to
Mm.
respect ourselves as women. We need to see ourselves for who we really are. We are goddess upon the universe king.
For real,
Like,
huh?
like,
You know the power we have as women. You know the power we have.
definitely,
You know the energy
definitely.
we have. And not being boastful. And not being boastful for the women. But we really don't know the power. We really don't know the power. You understand? We need to
Yeah.
just check ourselves and up to function and focus and understand
For
and
real.
take back with crowns. You understand?
Yeah, but at the same point in time, right? Like today, I went out the road and while I was in my vehicle, I turned on the radio and they was talking about the guy on the radio. I think was 94. He was mentioning that he had a segment where he giving women the opportunity to call in and bless each other, right? And he run it for like a period of time and he gave women the opportunity to call in and like give another woman a good encouragement because from
Mm-hmm.
his point of view, he find like it has hardly happened. He does hardly see women actually lifting each other up and
Yeah.
speaking good into the session life or that kind of way. Very few times you just actually see that amongst women. Most women you would talk to, or most women the first thing they would tell you, I rather a man friend. Me
Yeah.
don't keep woman
Mm-hmm.
friend. Because woman like
Mm-hmm.
to my bacchanal and woman like
Yeah.
this and most women you talk to will tell you they
Yeah.
rather keep man
Yeah.
friend.
We
So
forget
then that
even
mean
to
to
respect
say
ourselves. Yeah.
that mean
We
to
for,
say
we
it have a tension between the queens. The queens not lifting up each other.
no, they're
That
not
kind of
lifting up
way.
each
No,
other.
because
They're not lifting up
because
Mm-hmm.
each other.
it's all about who
Who
they
better
think is
than
a
who?
competition.
Who
Yeah.
better than
You
who? Who
It's a
understand?
looking better than
competition, you
who?
understand?
Instead of you say queen, I in line, you look beautiful today, queen. Oh, good. You know the world would be a better place if we
You know,
function
it's
like
funny
Yeah.
that.
you say that, yeah?
Yeah.
The
It's
world
funny you
would be
say
a
that, eh?
better place
Queen,
if
it's
we
funny
just,
you say that
you
because
know.
as a woman, right? As a woman, right? Sometimes I'd walk down the street and I will see a woman and she will look nice and I will smile and say, good day, excuse. I just want to tell you looking real nice. And
No,
that will
me
be
too.
something very
Me
alien.
too.
The first thing they're gonna
Yeah.
think on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
No,
serious, but
I just do
no,
that.
but
Yeah, I just do that
seriously,
too.
it has be an alienated thing when a queen tell a queen something nice.
And I think that should be something to lift up more. Even amongst
Yeah.
men. Even amongst your bedroom, that kind of way.
But
If you have to tell your
before I get cut
bedroom
off,
something right now, you have to start it with something like no homo or something. You can tell your bedroom how about you come out fresh. You know what I mean? You gotta start it off and let them know you're in there first. Of course,
yeah, of course.
You know, serious fuss. It's so
Yeah.
hard for we to compliment
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other
yeah,
because you
yeah,
see,
yeah, for real.
life,
Hey,
and prophecy
you have to
say
pour that
that
disclaimer.
life
Yeah,
training we to become lovers ourselves.
True.
Life training us to become lovers
yeah,
ourselves, whether it be individually or what, but we becoming so isolated and so absorbed with trying to be better,
for real.
trying to win, like as everybody in this race and this rat race and this competition, and you know when it really truly is, you know. Because each man blessing his own way, same way, you know. Each queen blessing she's her own way, same way. So
True.
I think, you
True.
know, we should also have that kind of
Yeah, yeah,
ability to speak goodness into we better in life. You know what I
For
mean?
real.
I just try
For
to
real.
practice it amongst my friends. I don't know how they just interpret it, but nobody never come and, you know, me get no feedback from nobody yet. And I just try to, you know what I mean? If I see my bedroom doing something good, I will tell him, I say, boy, yeah, bless me survive, say, like, thing like
For real.
goodness. I like
Cause
that,
words
boy.
are power.
I
Words
proud.
are power. Yeah.
Come
Words are
on.
power. And
Sometimes that is all it takes to encourage somebody for that little extra step forward.
true. Because
You dig?
when you tell a woman, Queen, you're looking real beautiful today,
true.
a woman might go home, smile, she feeling and she glee because a woman no compliment her. Not a man, a woman.
Come
Overstand.
on.
So I
Come
think we
on.
had to
So, you
check
know?
ourselves as women too. You understand? We had to check ourselves as women too.
For real.
And yeah.
No, but
And stop, who better than
it's
who this,
loving for we brother, loving for we brother or we sister, what we love for we self. You know that kind of vibes? You
Yeah.
love for your
Yeah.
brother or your sister, we love for yourself. And
Yeah. True.
everybody wants happiness, everybody wants goodness, everybody wants to feel nice, to be happy, to look good. You understand? Nobody ain't going on wear a dirty kit. Nobody ain't gonna want to wear a bust up kit. You understand? So it comes back to that compassion, that compassion wholeheartedly now, boy. That love and
Yeah. To
that,
still,
that love and that
you know, to
compassion
still to respect
wholeheartedly.
and show somebody love himself, you know, that is all they have. Because sometimes, you know, as you rightfully say, a person wouldn't
Yeah,
put it on if they had something else away, or they wouldn't do it, or that wouldn't be the
exactly.
standard if they could have improved their
So,
life. Or so, you know, we have to be
sometimes we
understanding
might
still.
see somebody in a situation, right? And the first thing, if you're going to reach out to help them, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look in your closet to see where you do one. Why it must be where you do one? Why can't go in all your fresh kit and say, you know what? I go bless up my session with this here. I never used this before. This brand new thing.
Yeah,
I
look,
go
this
sell it
brand
and
new,
see
take
how
that.
about give them something
Yeah,
fresh, you know what I mean? In that kind of mentality, why it must be something that you don't want. You know that kind of way?
yeah. Because you see, you know,
You don't
as I
know
say, it's
something.
still you're doing it,
Hmm.
but maybe you ain't doing it from a genuine place. You know,
The internet
maybe they're doing
is
it,
against me,
but they ain't doing it from a genuine place. You know, um, walk in the path of a strong woman. I spelled bad. Walk in the path of a strong woman, right? You know, all I think is some of the like qualities would
Yeah.
make a strong woman or with a young girl coming up could adopt as traits or qualities that might make she into a strong woman eventually. Getting my Candace?
Okay.
Yeah, you getting right? Isn't everybody there? Right? There's that. Alright, so greetings though. Everybody will pop back in. Respectively same way. Alright, so we are Miriam back. Candace could come back in shortly. Miriam, you hearing me?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you. You hear me?
yeah, again, yeah,
I guess
last.
the internet on my end, the whole island right now is getting a lot of problems with the internet and the service. So I really do apologize for that
That's okay,
that
that is
problem
okay,
with the
that is okay, that is
technicalities there.
understandable. That's understandable. We are just talking about walking the path of a strong woman. You know, what would be
Before Candace
the
come
honest?
back, there was just something. Mm-hmm.
You go ahead. You go ahead. I hear you. I hear you. Miriam.
You hear me?
Yes, I am.
I didn't hear you.
No, I was telling you, you could have go ahead. You could have go ahead. You were saying before Candace come back,
I didn't
you
hear
wanted to
you.
say something. All right. You hear me clearly?
This internet is real bad.
All right, George. Miriam seems to be experiencing some technical difficulties. So, you could send in a little questions, or you could send in a little questions by the time, or a little comments by the time. So, we could gather. But basically, you know, we just here, and as I say, we just giving the queens a voice. And definitely, I like the energy they come with because it definitely was a non biased one. The approach it was non biased as far as I see. Candice, you're back inside.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know who gone.
That is okay. That is okay. I understand. As I'll take this little time to plug my sponsor, Digicel. Big up Digicel all the time. They did a bad network. Inside joke. But yeah, we're talking about walking the path
Big
of
up
a strong
Digicel.
woman. Yeah, like big up Digicel, say me, you know what I mean? But we're talking walking the
Thank
path
you,
of a strong
Digicel.
woman.
Walking
You're
the path of
saying,
a strong woman
yeah,
means, definitely like a woman walking in truth and don't care what input who has to say, or what that's that walking in truth now, boy. You understand? So I would say that.
so, now, I hear what you say, but then that could be interpreted wrong because a person's truth could be not
Lies.
necessarily right. You understand? A person could say, well, a young lady could say, well, I live in my truth, and she truth is jumping from man to man to man to man to
Oh
man.
God.
You understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah,
Or,
yeah,
or,
yeah.
or, or to the, as I say, as you say just now, she truth might be abandoning the red flags for the blue flag.
Right,
That
right,
might be
right,
she truth.
Right.
And I not necessarily mean to say it right, living in your truth, because it as I say, within everything in life
To
it
be
has
honest,
balance.
I would
And it
definitely say knowing
yeah.
yourself as a woman. You have to know yourself. You gotta know yourself
Yeah, but
as
how
a
a
as an
16-year-old girl?
individual.
Yeah, but all right,
You
but
have
we're
to know
talking about
yourself as
outside.
a queen, and you have to accept
No, but
yourself
we
as a queen.
yeah,
Anytime you
what I say
accept
to
yourself for
Miriam,
less,
just now, before
then
you
you
go ahead,
go whatever you accept.
right? Yeah, what I say, we talking to 16, 17-year-old young girls, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old young girls. They might be mature of body, but not mature of mind. So when you say know yourself as a woman, they mightn't even know what that mean yet. You know what I mean? I talk about like more guidelines, like instead of maybe all right, like I would
Not
say
being dependable
these
on
things, these things,
right,
find somebody who willing to go the extra mile for you, treat you right, respect your body, not because somebody offering you the biggest coin, you will go and lay with them. Because
right,
you know what I mean, these kind of things I mean like now, you
right.
know?
Yeah, well, definitely a woman. You see, we as we had a big guidelines for these young women coming up to I
Yeah.
myself young, but we had to be that guideline, that person who young ladies could come to, we had to be example. You understand? Because
Mm-hmm.
they ain't go guys out there. They ain't really go guys out there. You understand? So
Yeah.
I think we had to be that example as women. You understand? For these younger ones. You understand?
Definitely.
So they could
And
walk in that, and they could walk in that light. Then you understand?
yeah,
Because what
yeah,
they see,
because
because what they see is what they go do. So I think
I
we
said,
as the older ones had to be examples now, boy.
and if you're shaky all over the place and you want to be your daughter's best friend instead of she mother, you know what I mean? Eventually things will be happening right in front of your face that you go maybe not even care about. Much less for to feel that type of way, you know. And we had to train with daughters, we had to train with sons same way. You know, a man might watch his son, this girl this week, that girl this week, that next girl this week, and he might, his son is a shutter. But remember, right now we living in a period of time where we are the highest rates HIV and STDs
True.
in the history of
And
mankind.
unwanted
You
pregnancies.
understand? And unwanted pregnancies and you know that kind of way. So instead of lifting up that kind of energy, maybe it's better to tell your son, well, but that kind of way, better hold it down, king. You know what I mean? Try to find somebody and just rock, and if that didn't work out on your thing, and still
Yeah,
use protection and, guide the
that is where
youths
the
and them,
example
get
come
them,
in. That is where the example come in. You
cause,
understand?
a lot of we rely on, as I say, on social media and school and
The trends
job and all
and
these things to teach you children how to live. We not really sitting down with we youths and them and reason with them and say, well, this is what I go through and this didn't work for me and maybe I should try it this way or even if
And
we,
King, don't
yeah,
forget, these things are all illusions, eh? These things is not reality, you know? These things
when I
is
say yeah,
illusions. Meaning we teaching each other and what we seeing. You understand?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
These
yeah,
things are illusions in our real life. These is illusions. Because when people come off our Instagram and Facebook, you understand? It come like a bad apple on one side and a good apple on the other side, but it's showing you the good apple only. You understand? So people intend to live that fake life now, boy. You understand?
definitely,
Nobody,
yeah,
nobody, nobody coming out the box and say, youths, young ladies, work hard, you understand? It's get that
yeah,
bag, get this, get that,
yeah,
and these kind of things and sort
yeah,
of.
but as
And
I
this is
rightfully said, that is a make believe,
make believe is illusions. It is not
it's a
reality, it's
illusion,
illusions.
yeah, true, true, true.
So the bad apple hiding and the good apple outside. You understand?
Mhm.
So
And
so until
everybody buying into this apple and nobody in Ghana
by
biting the apple in because
and
the apple is
hiding
an illusion.
and
facts.
hiding the
Yeah,
hiding the emotions now. Because I know it's a people king who coming on social media and saying and living this fake life, and when they come off the emotionally unstable,
You know,
the
right?
mental
Yeah.
is mental
yeah,
issues, it's
yeah,
frustration,
yeah,
but they're coming on
yeah,
makeup, fix up myself. Yeah, we
yeah,
gotta make that money. This, that
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
fake
yeah,
illusions. You understand?
yeah, illusions, yeah, yeah,
My thing is be real with yourself. Be real, be true to yourself. Be real with yourself. You understand? And
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
understand that it's okay.
I guess
It's
fake is
okay
the new
sometimes
fashion
as a
too, King. You
Yeah,
understand?
it's
fake,
okay
Fake is the new fashion.
walking as walking is part of a strong woman, definitely. Knowing yourself and being true to yourself is one, but understanding that here what now, boy. It's not all the time you're gonna get it right, It's going to have times that you might slip, you might fall, you might make mistakes. But what is important is here what's going on. That is what I want. That is the direction I want to go in. So no matter how much times I slip, or how much times, how much mistakes I make, or how hard it might be, that is the direction I want to go in and to stay focused, to continue to go in that direction. Understanding that it's okay. Life people doesn't want to accept that with life there's come negative and positive. You can't have the positive without the negative, and you can't have the negative without the positive. They are part of the balance of life.
there's a part of the
Understanding that there
balance.
will be understanding that there will be ups and downs. And you just continue to stay focused on where you want to go, where you want to be, where you want to accomplish. And before I get cut off earlier, when we were talking about COVID, there was one particular thing I wanted to say on the positive side about this whole pandemic and this whole COVID. I know that a lot of people has done is really this pandemic has really rocked the world at large. But the goodness that come out from it is this one, a lot of people accept the fact that mental health is important. That's one. And where the children are concerned, a lot of people understand the pressure that the school system does be going through. Because there are a lot of people who have children, and really and truly, they don't know the children. They don't invest what they're supposed to invest. They does depend on the school system. And now you find parents saying, oh God, boy, I can't wait for school to open and think this and that. Because why? Because they don't know the children, they don't understand the children, they understand lack of communication, they can't reason. So out of this pandemic, the good things is that there were a lot of missing links, root causes, little things that play a big role to big issues, you know, in families.
Get highlighted and become highlighted.
Yeah, so now, if you watch on local TV, sometimes when I get my little break and thing, you know, if the cable not working, because you see the service real bad, I gotta watch local TV, and they will show you things, COVID commercials, where they're telling you that, you know, mental health and these things. And in my mind, I laugh and I'm saying to myself, wow, all in all studying about mental health, what about mental health the failure in mental health that contributes to not just domestic violence, but a dysfunctional society, a dysfunctional people. You know, that kind of vibes.
Yeah.
So I think the positive side of the pandemic and the COVID is that we were able to identify a lot of problems. You understand? We were able to identify the problems. And listen, it's not no hard maths to solve these problems, you know. The start to developing as a person or as a people is to acknowledge that you have a problem, that you ain't deal with something right, that you make a mistake.
Sure.
But you know what, boy? Hear what, right? Hear what?
How much people
You're right,
willing
you
to
know.
admit that though? How much people
You're
willing
right,
to
you know,
really
but here
admit
we're going
that?
on. Your way is not the only way. And just because
Yeah.
you're right doesn't mean that your way is the right way. You understand? Because if I put a 6 on the ground, if you stand up opposite me and they go look like a 9,
True.
Well, yeah.
they go coming from. So sometimes not every solution works for every problem. The key is being able to have that kind of understanding.
The communication too,
So
and
I
being
think
able to be open to communication.
yes, and not
Yes, sir.
being arrogant. You understand? Not being arrogant and feel you know everything and feel you right. You understand? It's about being open-minded. Being open-minded. You know, there's this artist called Janine, right? And she sang a song about gratitude, and she said in one of her verses, she said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever you're dwelling on is the reality that you're creating. Use your concentration wisely, because your only limitation is your imagination. Where they go coming from. So it's not that you don't need to reason with somebody, you know, but you could do it if you really want to. You understand? But if you can evaluate yourself, if you can reflect on yourself and say, hey, what now, you know what? I really move badly, or I make a bad choice. You understand? Or that wasn't the
But
way
then you
to deal
shouldn't
with
be
that.
in a
If you
relationship.
can reason with yourself.
If you can reason with yourself and see where your flaws is or where you fall short, right? Because I just oftentimes say we don't need people to come and tell me where we fall short. Because as humans, we had our reasoning, we had our understanding, we know what is right, we know what is wrong. Anger sometimes there's blurry line between right and wrong, but inherently as human beings, we know what is right and wrong in it. And you know, in a situation, you're gonna know if you're right or if you're wrong. You understand? But at the same point in time, you still have to find that level of understanding to know what are right. It must have a reason why that person might speak on that, or you understand, or whatever. You know, it must have a root cause. Then, as you say, you know, it must have a reason for it to come forward. Same way. So you know, we had that level of communication and more communication and relationships go ease up that, as we say, that gender-based violence or violence, whether it be emotional, spiritual, financial, wherever it be, we will ease it up because we'd have more understanding from a person's point of view, the other person's point
Yeah,
of
and
view.
sometimes if you feel like you can't sit down and reason with somebody face to face because maybe you and them might be upset, had the conversation through text message, man. We have technology, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen, it's not that getting upset about something is bad, and it's okay, it's natural, but don't remain upset, don't remain
Yeah.
unreasonable. You dig that
Don't
kind
hold
of
on
way.
to
So if
that.
you feel like you
Don't
can't
hold on
reason
to
with
that energy.
somebody in the face, call them on the phone or send
Good
them a
one.
message and call them. Yeah, don't hold it in your heart. Yeah, don't hold it in your heart. Because the Bible say, the Lord said, don't let the sun go down on your heart. He never said, don't get vexed.
Hmm.
You dig that kind of wisdom? So it's so emotions is natural. It's okay to get upset. It's okay to be displeased. It's okay to be disgusted by something. It's okay to be disappointed. These things is natural. You understand? But stop listening to respond and listen to understand. You
Hmm.
understand? Sometimes we're listening to respond and we're not listening to understand.
What are some of the ways a woman should carry herself according to the Bible, as you say, you
Hmm.
know? And I invite people as well who view in to acknowledge this particular topic as we close off tonight's show. We close off with this topic because really and truly, everything in life, the foundation of it is spiritual, right? Now,
Agreed.
spirituality is like a fingerprint, I believe. It's something very
Mm-hmm.
individual. Spirituality is
Mm-hmm.
not a collective thing. Human nature is to be collective. Human nature is to gather with
Mm-hmm.
somebody who believe the same thing you believe and who have an idea, the same kind of idea you have, and that is human nature. But spirituality is something individual. And in everything, I think it should start with a woman understanding she purpose spiritually in a relationship, in a union, in a life. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because with woman lie the ability to bring forth life, right? And that in itself, we all know is a precious gift same way. Because without a woman, none of we would not be here. You understand? And that is not taken away from the masculine gender in any form, neither at the same point in time. Because without men, same way, none of we would not be here. Without our father, same way, none of we would not
Mm-hmm.
be here. So you know what I mean? But we have to remember that spirituality must play a foundation or the fundamental
Indeed.
part of we life so that it go reflect into we relationship, it go reflect
Mm-hmm.
into the way we dress, it go reflect into the way we speak to we partner, the way we you understand? Because if there's a person checking on these things, you would carry yourself differently. You know what I mean? I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things why a woman should carry herself according to the Bible is that a woman should first see that not just the vessel, but a portal of life now, as you say, right? What brings life, you know? So
Yeah.
a woman supposed to watch herself like as she's divine. You understand? And understand that it's not just a vessel, but this is your temple. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And not you
Mm-hmm.
understand? And not let
Mm-hmm.
any and anybody come in that secret place. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because people some might understand, some mightn't understand, but people that understand that human being carry energies, right? And
Facts.
it's cross contamination of energies. You understand? So you are the
Some,
first understand that you
mm,
are the first understand that your body is your temple. You are to understand that first and foremost and not watch it like
mm,
it's a physical thing. You understand?
yeah,
Don't watch it
yeah,
like
because,
that.
yeah, yeah. Physical is the last aspect of it.
Physical is the last
Yeah.
aspect. So when you study, this is your temple. You when we are dirty shoes to go in the temple, you take off your shoes outside the
Mhm.
temple and then enter the temple.
Definitely.
You ain't go walk in your house with your slippers. You understand? So
Yeah, you ain't gonna
we
No.
go
we
up on
as
your
women
bed.
had a
Yeah, you ain't gonna go up on
you
your bed with
understand?
your
We as
slippers. Yeah.
women have to we as women have to understand that see the power, see the words, see the words. You understand? See that word that because society have it like if we is just objects,
Facts.
just
Yeah,
objects.
yeah, yeah. They're
So
objectified.
we have to tap in now and see that we worth much more than that, and don't let society
Mm-hmm.
determine whether or not who we are or who we should be.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
first we must
definitely.
understand that this is our temple.
And
This is our temple first and foremost. So careful who you bring into your temple.
Careful who you bring to worship in your temple.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for
Don't,
real.
don't bring no false messiah
yeah,
in
for
your
real.
temple, ladies. You dig? Get yourself, you dig? If you don't have holes in the hand, when you pop your hand, if you're not seeing holes in it, that is not the man for you.
Mm.
Do not bring no false messiah in your temple. You understand? See me, you dig? You know? But energy, man, energy. But that is definitely true. That is definitely true. You know, you have to
I
respect.
definitely agree, and I don't
Yeah.
think that there's anything I need to add in that aspect of it because Candice really covered it straightforward. You understand?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
must applaud you. There, you bring it. There's nothing there to add. What I would say,
Yeah.
we have to be mindful of the physical part too, because coming out of practicing Christianity and Islam, right?
Yeah.
I learned when I used to practice Islam, I used to practice as a Muslim, and I learned that really and truly Christianity and Islam, when it comes to women and the way that they carry themselves and the way that they dress, is really similar. Just how the Muslim women look is similar, the Christian women supposed to be looking, or God fearing women on the
Right.
whole. And
Right.
sometimes women, we get carried away with the way that we look and that independent mentality. And we want to wear wherever we want, and we don't realize that we invite predators. I learned that no matter what it is you wear, as long as a brother, loving for your brother, what you love for yourself, is basically when you dress to go outside, right? Is thinking about anything that your brother, any sin that your brother look at you and commit, you're responsible for that. You understand? So being mindful of how you carry yourself, you understand, on the physical, you understand your characteristics, how you carry yourself, and you know, understanding that we live in a society where we have no control over things and people. We don't have control over people's minds, you understand, or wherever they come from, you understand, the habits, the thought patterns, whatever that might be. We don't have any control over that, but we have control over ourselves. So still being mindful that, here what? Yes, a man must respect a woman, but a woman must give a man something to respect. A woman must respect herself.
Balance.
You understand?
Balance.
And
Understand
having
that.
that respect is being mindful that if there are predators out there, no matter what you do, there will be predators out there. There will be
Mm.
those that have that mindset, and there's nothing we could do about it except to safeguard yourself as best as we can. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. I respect that. And that makes sense. You know, if you want a man to respect you, give
Yeah.
him something to respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And definitely I agree with that. So I appreciate it, sisters. I give thanks to the Bible. I give thanks for your
Yeah,
coming
man.
out.
Stay here.
I
Yeah, give
enjoy
Mm.
the,
thanks, I give
I
thanks,
enjoy
I
the
give
little
thanks.
scatter,
Listen, I
enjoying
thought
the
we
little
were James
scatter,
Smith
you know.
tonight, but
That's okay, man. That's okay. That's how the thing does go sometimes. Same way. That's how it does go. You know, the forces just try to hold you back when you're trying to
For
do
real,
something
for real,
positive.
for real.
But we have to push through. And I know in that aspect, I would even
Yeah.
applaud her for keeping logging back on. But some people might have get fed up and you understand? And that's the
For
way it
real.
works. You know, I
Yeah.
still give thanks that all. Let's still keep coming back. See me. And we still get to finish out the program.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Bless everybody who was on the live. I appreciate all you being here. You know,
Thanks,
we
I
give
guess,
thanks,
Yeah,
thanks.
give
man.
thanks to the
So all
sisters
the
and them
queens
coming
I
and
back.
give
kings
thanks
on
for
the
the
live, I give thanks, for the opportunity, you understand? I give
Mm-hmm.
thanks, blessings.
Lessons and
I
love, man.
Kings,
definitely
Manners and
give thanks
respect.
that,
kings
as men and
be,
women, we could
Well,
reason in this. I give thanks that as men and women, we could have this kind of reasoning. Whether it's in private or in an open forum like this, because this is the kind of example that society needs. You understand? These are the examples that we need, that just how we reason here right now is the same way relationships supposed to reason, whether it's man and woman or parents and children or however you go, friendships or however,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. We should get back to the
That is how
communicating and
reasoning.
let we solve the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, get back to that
Let me solve the
communication and let
problem
we
and
solve
stop
it.
creating the problem.
Yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
if
I respect.
even if we brother or we sister might be the bigger part of the problem, don't ridicule them for it, but say, well, yeah, what now? This really is not the way now, but let me show you a better way. And
Mm-hmm.
when someone offers to show you a better way, don't be arrogant, don't be arrogant and set in your ways, but be open minded, be
Yeah.
open minded, you know. Yeah, so I give thanks for the opportunity, man, and the
Love,
time,
man,
and
love, 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 love
blessings
it.
to
And no
everybody
see.
who on the
yeah,
line.
blessings.
Yes, man. All right, so let me
Kings
see.
continue. Kings continue to
Yeah,
protect your queens, and queens, you continue to, prop your kings. Balance, we say. Balance the thing,
balance,
man.
Yes, I
Understand?
balance,
indeed,
balance.
Yeah, man.
definitely.
Blessings, blessings, blessings.
All right, so let's enjoy the balance all your night and give thanks
You
again.
too.
Same to you. Same
Give
to
Manners
you.
and
thanks.
respect, man. Yes, I.
You don't know.
All right, people. So we was here, breaking the loop. We was here. We sit down with the queens and them. We hold a little reasoning. We give thanks to that energy. We give thanks to that energy because within it we find balance. So we give thanks to that. So manners and respect. Everybody be safe. Protect all yourself, protect all your family. For God first. Respect each other. As we say, one of the solutions, communicate. Reason. And don't be too arrogant to reason same way too. You know? Blessed love, manners and respect. I give thanks for all being here and this was Breaking the Loop. We outside again. Check we out. See. Check we out Monday. We outside again on the Instagram. Mike Check Mondays at Lions End Production 17. On Tuesday, we here with another concert series. If you didn't see the one we had last week Tuesday, go and check it out on my page. It was fire. Trust me. Fire, fire, fire. So check it out. We coming with our next banger this week. And Thursday, we'll be back here with Breaking the Loop again with another topic, another vibes. We're just waiting for Jah to flow the energy through we see me. So manners and respect everybody. All let me see. Love. Love, love, love.